as most people know, there was uprisings this summer, starting in June, and it was a culmination of a really powerful moment, like a convergence of the conditions that were happening because of COVID, both in terms of the disproportionate rates of Black and Brown people who were being affected by COVID, as well as just everybody being in this new paradigm of being stuck at home and having all sorts of different experiences and variables afoot because of that. And so that was sort of the foreground for then when the unfortunate event happened where George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis. We saw the biggest uprisings in the history of the United States. And, you know, a lot of that is because of the groundwork that Black Lives Matter movement had been building for many years, since, you know, Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin were murdered many years ago at this point. And so here in Northern Michigan, we had people showing up that had never shown up before, partially because they, you know, weren't ready, or they didn't understand the vastness and the seriousness of the issue because they may not have experienced it or seen it like firsthand. And finally, I think people realize that this is real, that like Black Lives Matter is necessary because of the pervasive ongoing racism that is affecting people, killing people every day. And so it sort of finally reached this region in terms of the reality of that. So we had two huge protests, one of which had like 3,000 people show up, which is unprecedented in this community. And out of that grew just a lot of primarily white people that wanted to dig into this work, as we've been talking about here. And so we have done our best to provide an opportunity for people to start to build some capacity and basically join the movement, right? Like find their own self-interest and build some basic tools and language to be able to understand themselves as part of the movement for racial justice, which is really a movement for collective liberation. And so people are understanding that, you know, white folks up here are understanding that our own humanity is at stake